You took the words right out of my mouth with it's got all the different scenes. That's what I love about Polo's music videos. I think they're really cool. Like you get some music videos where they're a bit more plain and they're often in the same place. Now this is a bad example, right? But Lil TJ's Run It Up music video, it's in the same place and it's very the style's very the same the whole way through. And the reason why I said it's a bad example is because I actually love the music video. I think it is really cool. But all I'm saying there is it's like a very it's the same style, it's in the same scene the whole way through, which again can work, like in that Lil TJ video, because I think that is a class video. But I do really like the style of Polo's, where it's the complete opposite, where he's just going from scene to scene to scene to scene. And if I was a rapper and I released a song and was making a music video, me personally, that's the style of music video I'd go for, because I think it's really cool at showing the different sort of your different meanings behind each verse and each lyric or each section of lines or whatever. Like you can really sort of show what you're talking about properly, like visualize it. So I like that, and I think that's pretty cool. And I guess you agree as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think music videos never used to be like that important. Like people would watch them, but they were never, that creative and stuff. But I think in the last few years, especially in the rap game, I think the videos are always really like creative to the song. Cole Bennett, especially, I think his music videos are like unbelievable. But they can definitely make a song more want to listen to it and want to watch the video. I mean, most of the time you're in your car listening to music on Spotify, but if I'm at home, I quite like putting YouTube on and just sticking videos on because I quite like watching them.
Yeah, well, we're going down a bit of a tangent here, but I think it's quite interesting. Like, you say that, and you say music videos have got better, and I agree. Like, music videos used to be a bit sort of shit, and only the best, like the people at the top of the game, the biggest stars ever, like even people when we're talking back to like Michael Jackson's day and stuff, he'd have cool music videos because music videos used to cost so much money compared to today. Like they're still expensive now. Like for a really good one, you're talking literally like a couple of $100,000. But they used to be in the millions. It was insane. They used to be so expensive. It's ridiculous. So only the people right at the top could get a good one, and a lot of the others were a bit shit. Like nothing amazing. Like we could literally make one of that level now. Really, like it's nothing phenomenal. Whereas now everyone sort of releases phenomenal videos because they're a lot easier to come by, they're a lot easier to make and a lot cheaper to make now. Like that's just obviously naturally happens. So the music video standard now is really high and nearly every single one is just class. Like I can't think the last time I watched a bad one. Obviously there's some that are a bit more boring and whatever, but they're all actually good. But the interesting thing is it's funny, like that's become the thing where they're more accessible and they're all really good. But I think this is probably the time where they're the least important because I love them and I like watching a music video. But like you said, realistically, people are listening, just streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever they listen on. They're just streaming the song and they're not really watching the video. And that is why I wish that the streaming services, like I know Apple Music do it to a certain extent, but it's very hit and miss and it's with very, very limited tracks, only sort of the mainstream stuff. Is they don't integrate music videos enough into these platforms, in my opinion, because they're missing out there. Because a music video, as you said, can add so much to a song and actually make you prefer songs because you can really visualize what someone's talking about. But I just think they've been sort of like washed away by the streaming services. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we were once in an age where Spotify and things like that didn't really exist, and people listened to music different ways. People bought CDs, people watched YouTube or whatever, and I think Spotify is probably the leading one, but streaming services are where people listen to now, and I think I agree with you in the fact that if they add videos, in a certain way, I think, or a link somewhere, or I don't know, I think I like what they've done with the lyrics, where if they've done like a Genius interview, the lyrics come up on Spotify and stuff. But you could do the same with a video technically, because sometimes people only want to listen through Spotify and won't actually know there's a video to the song anyway. Even they might not follow the artist or whatever. So things could definitely be done to maybe make them more important these days.
Yeah, I agree. Like the 100%, the more casual listeners that aren't as invested in that particular artist. So like obviously everyone's got artists that they absolutely adore, but other people that maybe listening to an artist that they think's all right. Like we've got plenty of artists like that that we quite like, and sometimes we'll just have them on in the background or whatever, or they've just come on a playlist. And we wouldn't have a clue that they've got a music video for some tracks. Like there's definitely many, many tracks on both of our playlists that we have no idea that there's a music video for. And if we watch that music video, we might really like it, and it might again make us like the song even more, because sometimes that's what they do. So yeah, it is something they're missing out on. And it's funny you say that about in a different era, because we actually like, obviously we're a lot younger than most people, we're like 20 years old and stuff. But we still were in the age where streaming services were just not a thing. And I remember when like Spotify and all that was first being introduced, and everyone was sort of like, oh, this is a bit weird, isn't it? Oh, this is well strange, because everyone was listening on CDs, radio. And I don't know about you, but music videos actually used to be more important to me, even though they were a bit shit. I used to watch them a lot more, because I always used to get my I always used to listen to music on like them TV channels. You know, they'd have like the music channels and stuff where they do like the charts and stuff. And obviously when you're younger, you want to listen to the chart stuff, because that's sort of the stuff you get pushed, apart from obviously I was listening to rock from my family and stuff, but mainstream stuff is pushed to you a lot from like telly and stuff. And I'd end up watching them channels, and obviously that would all be orientated around the music video. So that's funny, like they were a big thing then to people like me, whereas now like it's just irrelevant. You just get it from the streaming services and social media and stuff. Do you remember anything like that? Did you ever watch any of that sort of shit?
Oh, those were the days. I remember, like, before primary school, stick what was it, Channel 350 on, and Katy Perry Thinking of You was on, and it could take me back to them days. But yeah, I think I still, sometimes when I'm downstairs, I still put them on, like, because sometimes, I mean, nowadays telly's terrible. There's barely anything to watch. So I quite like sticking them on, and I don't mind a bit of chart stuff. I mean, obviously we're talking rap here, but I don't mind a bit of chart stuff, and I certainly didn't when I was about 8 years old. But yeah, they were the days. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, when you're younger, you definitely don't, for sure. And this is well off topic, but this is just something between me and you. And fuck it, I'll just say it anyway. The real days, mate, was when Sky Sports News was on Freeview. That was fucking sick. Do you remember that?
I mean, I've never really had. We've always had like Sky. So.
Oh, you bloody Tory. Mate, I just relied on Sky Sports News on Freeview. That was my fucking life. And then they took it off, and I've never forgiven them since.
And it's so weird, because like we're 19, 20 years old, and like we're talking like the whole music on the telly days, that was like ages ago. And you think, like, I can remember little snippets of it, but it's mad how much of life you don't remember. And like I say, we're on a massive tangent here, but it's just funny to look back on.
Yeah, it is funny to look back on, and like even though we're only like 20 years old or whatever, which is like I said before, younger than a lot of people, that's still many years. So we've still experienced quite a lot. Like if you think 20 years, that's still a long time. So yeah, it's a bit mad. Like it was my birthday recently, so it was like, obviously you know that, but I'm telling the audience, and it was like a bit weird. Yeah, it was like, fuck, like 20 years, that is a long time, even though like that's classed as obviously really young still, but in reality that is still a long period of time. So yeah, it's mad, and it shows how, like, people say life goes really fast and life is short, which it is, because obviously you only get one life, blah 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 blah, but it is still quite a long time, really. It's just we do so much in that time, it just goes fast. But anyway, right, let's shut the fuck up.